All right, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another one of my podcast videos. We're going to play you some highlights in a minute of today's episode number 3. Got some special guests, of course. We've got Mr. Thomas Gray and Mr. True Geordie. How you doing, boys?
You alright?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
Oh, let's go that way. It's good to have you in the flesh, True Geordie. We've only done a few things together, and usually it's through a screen of some kind.
Lots more to come, mate. That's the melting pot. That's
David Brent.
That's what I'm going for.
Well, it's going to be fun. We're going to talk to True Geordie and Tom Gray. We're going to find out more about the legend that is True Geordie today. Talk about lots more things as well. Don't forget, this is all sponsored by Dream Team FC. I've got a new article on there this week which talks about a lot of things. Talks about who I'm supporting in the Champions League. Talks about the differences between the YouTube world, being a YouTube creator and being an old school TV broadcaster, and how I think those things should change. So it's going to be an interesting read. Make sure you check that out. There's a link in the description below. But for now, let's jump into episode number 3 of the Spencer FC podcast. Here we go. All right, mate. How you doing? Welcome back to another Spencer FC podcast. It's podcast number 3. Before we get into anything, we have to say, Tom, well done to you, sir.
Thanks.
We got number 1 last week.
Oh, I know, man.
Number 1 podcast in the UK. That is impressive.
Well, I got me a text from my dad to say well done.
Is that a rarity?
Yes.
Well done.
Yeah,
And that was before you had me on.
That's before we had...
Tell you what, mate, only way is up. Well, actually not.
Where can you
No,
not?
literally it's
We'll
not.
just stay in there.
Stay where you are.
The only way is to stay
Yeah.
one. And that voice you can hear, by the way, if you don't recognise it, is Mr. True Geordie. How you doing, pal?
I'm class, mate. Thanks for having us on, pal.
Thank you for coming here. We've got a great lineup here. 2 people with the initials TG as well. So
Also-
And Newcastle fans.
And
And
both
Newcastle
Newcastle
fans,
fans.
but also I was
separated
called
at birth.
Geordie at school because I went down south, and
even though you don't sound Geordie.
no, but I supported
better.
Newcastle, didn't
Yeah.
I? So got
I'll give him
labelled
a
as
free
that.
pass. He's
Well-
been Geordified.
Is he?
I've dubbed the Knight of the Round Geordie table.
That means way more than I'm letting
Sorted.
on.
I think with you two as guests, True Geordie and Thomas Gray, we've got to talk about Newcastle. You guys have got a second victory back to back.
I know.
You know, against Tottenham, who hadn't lost since the first game of the season.
We always
Walking in the winter wonderland, mate.
What's going on?
We always
Can't
win at
believe it.
Tottenham, don't we? We seem to win there a lot, at least.
Aye. We've had
Remember-
a good result there.
Aye.
Is McLaren good then, is he?
Well, that's a loaded question, isn't it? I mean, how long have you got, mate? If you want to look back to Euro 2008, the answer would be no, because we weren't there, were we?
He's grown though. He's grown, right? He's learnt some Dutch. He's learnt some German.
Managers do learn from their mistakes, like, and I mean, you're seeing that with Pardew, to be fair. So people can improve. They can have bad experiences to come back from it. But I want him to be good. He's actually a nice bloke. I like him as a person a lot more than I have John Carver and Pardew and people like that. He's a very likeable bloke. It's some of the results though this season where we're turning up against, you know, the Spurs, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, even Arsenal down to 10 men. We only got beat 1-0 and that was by an own goal. We look pretty good, but I mean, losing 5-1 to Palace, it's unforgivable. Pardew's laughing all the way.
The reason I brought up Pardew a minute ago, though, actually, I wanted to talk about something else, which is you may have seen in the story on the Saturday when they won. He actually went down the pub with a load of Palace fans to celebrate the win, which I thought was quite a nice touch. Now, I'm not necessarily the biggest Pardew fan. There's a load of rumours about what he's getting up to at West Ham. But you could look at this story 2 ways, couldn't you? You could look at it as, what a lad, he's gone down the pub, he's a man of the people, it's a great way to ingratiate yourself to the fans. Or you could look at it as, you know, should he be doing that? Should he be going down the pub mixing with
Everyone's a
them?
man of the people when they've just won and they're doing well and people receive them well. Mike Ashley used to do that, didn't he? He used to go down the big market and stuff and go for
Pardew
drinks.
could have easily done that when we finished 5th.
So he's gone down the pub. What do you think his favourite drink would be, Pardew? Is he a bitter man? Is he just straight on the vodka cokes? What's he downing in the
No,
pub?
imagine he scouts the bar first for a woman to buy a drink for. And I
I thought you were going to say a woman to buy him a drink.
No.
He addresses her like barkeep,
Yeah.
and he goes like that, gives her the wave of the finger over. Come here. Yeah, you. Totally you.
What other managers would we like to see go down the pub and do that sort of thing? What other managers could pull that off? Because, like, I think Slaven Bilic at West Ham, I don't think he's a man you want to go down the pub with. I think he'd get a bit of a tear up with Bilic. I think he's more of a fight club kind of guy than a pub.
He would talk to you about the history of rock music and bore you, I reckon, Slaven Bilic. Or with his legal knowledge. He's a lawyer, did you know that? He's got a law degree, yeah.
But I don't think he'd be one for the pub. Maybe Klopp would love a good drink.
Klopp would go down for a drink, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Aye.
Ranieri would be good.
He'd bring the pizzas as well.
Red
Ideal.
wine with Ranieri.
Well, I was going to say the Man U team could go to a brothel, but they wouldn't score in there anyway.
Hey! LVG likes a drink. I'll tell you that.
He needs a drink right now.
He looks like he sleeps on a brick, doesn't he? Face down on a brick. Just flattened with no chin.
Just to keep it in that
He
shape.
looks like
Just chugging
Steve
a
Bruce's
fag
mother,
at the-
doesn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus, flat nose.
Bloody hell, Steve Bruce's mum. Where do you guys stand on LVG? Because a lot of people are saying Some people may say this is hasty, but a lot of people are saying his time should be up and he should be out.
Well, I really like arrogant men when they do well because it's satisfying to see. Like, so when Mourinho was great and was arrogant, it was enjoyable. It's a bit sad to see when they're not doing well and they're still quite arrogant and quickly dislike people like that. So I don't know.
It doesn't work as much being arrogant and a loser, does it?
No, it doesn't.
But I don't care what you say. Well, you should do, mate. You just lost 10 in a row.
I have a philosophy. Great. Where's the point?
Well, this philosophy is don't lose.
Yeah. Look at what he's actually done. Look at the money he's actually spent. I don't actually think it's an improvement on Moyes.
If Louis van Gaal had taken over Sir Alex Ferguson and this is what they'd gotten right after Sir Alex, he wouldn't have even made it for the second season.
No way.
Not at all. He would have been like Alan Partridge. Can I have a second season?
Monkey tennis.
He wouldn't have even have some
Smell
cheese.
my cheese.
He wouldn't have even made it to that point.
Van Gaal is rubbish. Look, I feel like it's like the thing that no one's saying. Why doesn't someone just come out and go, "You're rubbish, mate.
That
Go
man
away."
basically made a mad decision in the World Cup to bring a goalkeeper on a minute before a penalty shootout.
Well, that was very
proved right, and everyone
But
thought
then
he was a
again,
genius. That's what happened.
Technically a Geordie, Tim Krul.
Yeah,
So
technically.
Yeah.
By default.
Dug him out.
We're going to move on to finding out more about the enigmatic man that is Mr. True Geordie. First off, I know you've covered this a little bit in some of your videos, but how did it all start for you?
my job was I was working like offshore doing deep sea diving, which sounds a bit strange, but basically just in the oil offshore industry and that, laying pipe, no pun intended. And one day I'd found out that one of my mates had died. Lad had a kick around with very regularly. Loved football, loved Newcastle more than I did. And I went to his funeral, and it was sad and that. And so much of it was about like Newcastle United, and I was like, bloody hell, he loved Newcastle. The funeral's been more about Newcastle than it was about him. He loved them that much, you know. So I went home, and very shortly after that, Niall Ranger came out and basically told the fans if they wanted a boo, don't bother turning up, as if he called the shots sort of thing. And I thought, well, you don't call the shots, mate. We do. So I put my laptop on, never really know what I was doing with YouTube, like, pressed the record button, and I just let rip. That was what sort of put us on YouTube, and I called it A True Geordie's View on Niall Ranger. In a day, it got like 70,000 views in one day. Now
That's crazy for a new channel.
For a channel that's never uploaded and an unknown YouTuber,
Yeah.
that is pretty crazy, actually. Like, so then I was getting people saying, do more videos, and I did the odd one. This was in 2013. Then I decided in 2014, like January, I said, I'm going to give this a go. Like, I'm going to actually start uploading. Everyone called us the True Geordie off that first video, so I made the channel name and got a crappy banner that I made with Microsoft Paint.
Classic.
Old school. And basically, my channel's just a bit like the original rant, but now sort of less. My friends just died, I'm screaming because I'm angry at that. More about actually just passionate football fan.
It's great. I really like it. I've said in my, I think it was one of my Q&As I did, I said, I don't know if you saw this or not, but they said, who's your favourite YouTuber? And I said, True Geordie.
Jesus.
I said
Cheers,
Casey
mate.
Neistat and True Geordie. Casey for like visual stuff and like filmmaking, but in football wise,
appreciate it,
True Geordie. So definitely check them out if you haven't already. I'll put a link in the YouTube description. Okay, guys, we've finished today's podcast. It was a very enjoyable one of our longest ones yet. Tom, did you enjoy today's podcast?
I did, thank you, yeah. I thought it was really interesting. It was good to spend some time with another Newcastle fan.
Do you remember last week I asked you to give it a mark out of 10 using your old teaching background?
Yeah.
No, I gave it grade actually. What did you give it grade-wise?
I think I gave a B.
B. What are you giving this week?
What's your rating for this week, mate?
Probably an A star, just because quite an intimidating man.
True Geordie insists that you give him an A star.
Yeah, and
That's the first A star I've ever had in my life. Actually, thanks for that, mate.
It will take it. A star for today's
I'll get that
podcast.
Geordie tattoo. What's the tattoo? Is it you?
We're going to get like a Geordie, because he's not actually from Newcastle, but
Yeah.
we're going to get him a Geordie tattoo there.
Yeah.
We covered this all in the podcast, so make sure you listen
You'll
to the
see,
full
you'll
podcast.
see.
Yeah.
But did you enjoy it, mate?
Fantastic, mate. Thanks
Yeah.
for having us on, Paul.
I can just about fit you in there. I'll stand back a little bit. He's a massive. Look at him. Look at the size of him. I mean, Tom Gray's no shrimp, but he's a unit.
You think
But
I was, by the way? I sort of.
You're tall. What, you 6'2", 6'3"?
6'2", yeah.
yeah,
Good lad.
keep up the good work. Keep growing, mate.
Keep growing.
I
But
just
yeah,
came from Bannisters.
cheers, boys. Thanks for
Peter
today.
Banks, Gordon Banks used to do.
You keep hanging, and True Geordie, you just keep being true, mate. Okay, guys, so that is it for the podcast. Make sure you check out my article on Dream Team FC. There's a link in the description. Make sure you also listen to the whole podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Audioboom. All the links are available. And if we can get anywhere near #1 in the UK again, like we did last week, that would be absolutely upper echelon, upper Benjamins, all the way to the bank. So thank you very much. I'll see you again soon. But until then, don't go changing.